rooms, in kitchens while making coffee, in the hum of daily life where music still finds a way to bloom even without applause. The love for singing doesn't vanish just because circumstances shifted or opportunities faded. Sometimes it becomes richer, a private treasure shaped by lived experiences and quiet determination. For so many of us, singing began before the idea of fame ever crossed our minds. It was there in the gentle lullabies passed down from mother to child, the bold notes shared at family gatherings, the tentative melodies tested when we believed no one was listening. It was an expression long before it was ever a performance, a comfort long before it was judged for quality. The path to technical growth, the hours spent learning to breathe, to phrase, to stand tall, was all rooted in the first simple pleasure, the joy of using our own voices. What no one tells you as you begin this journey is that the definition of success is never set in stone. As a young singer, the dream is often shaped by what you see, the shining names, the grand stages, the thunderous applause. But fate, guided by forces both visible and hidden, sometimes changes the map. It could be a move to a new city where your old credits don't transfer. It could be the teacher who doesn't quite understand your timbre, or the subtle injury that forces you to change your repertoire. In those moments, it's easy to doubt yourself, to wonder if your gift has been wasted. But here's a quiet truth. The beauty of music doesn't depend on its audience. Some of the most moving performances are delivered into the stillness, with no one but the singer and the song. Healing often comes this way, slow and personal. When you sing alone, your music becomes both gift and remedy, an act of self-care, a way to remember who you are beneath all the busy noise of obligations and expectations. Carrying your voice, still singing, still teaching, still believing, means reclaiming the music on your own terms. When illness appears and makes you cautious, when majors and goals must shift, it's not the end of the story. For many, this is the start of a more authentic relationship with singing. No longer performance for others, but sharing for oneself and the few who truly listen. Maybe your stage is now a classroom where you guide and inspire new singers, helping them find their unique sound. Maybe singing becomes a secret tradition, a promise you keep to yourself each morning or night. It's so important to honor those whose songs we may never hear on the radio, whose achievements don't get counted in ticket sales or stream downloads. The world is full of voices that move mountains on a micro scale. These voices soothe children to sleep, bring light to hospital wards, lift spirits in places of worship, and comfort friends through loss. The texture of the human voice, its cracks, its strength, its vulnerability, has value no matter where it's shared. If you're a singer feeling distant from the spotlights, remember, your gift hasn't diminished. You may not have the validation of judges or the gaze of a crowd, but your singing matters. It's there in every note you coax from silence. It lingers in the memory of every student who finds their own power because of you. And it belongs to you, as much as it ever did when you first really believed in your own sound. Never let disappointment convince you that your artistry is only meaningful if it's widely celebrated. The truest voices often persist in spite of indifference or misfortune. They find ways to be heard, humming on a long drive, singing to a beloved pet, accompanying the rise and fall of daily chores. There's a particular resilience in those who continue to create music after the dream of conventional fame has faded. You're continuing a tradition as old as time, a tradition that values expression for its own sake. If you teach, whether to children, amateurs, or professionals, your influence ripples outward in ways you may never see. Every correction or encouragement, every story of your own detours and recovery becomes part of someone else's developing artistry. You don't just shape voices, you shape confidence, self-acceptance, and the will to keep singing, even when circumstances conspire to quiet us. Remember, too, that even the famous singers, the ones who seem blessed with every advantage, still question themselves. Every artist faces setbacks, whether in public or private. The difference is, some stories are told quietly, carried in the privacy of homes and rehearsal rooms instead of printed reviews. All are valid, so keep singing, wherever you are, in whatever way you can. If life required you to step away from formal training or professional ambition, honor what remains. Your voice still counts, both as a physical instrument and as the deeper story of your resilience. There is no shame in rewriting your narrative, in redefining what it means to be a great singer. What matters is the honesty you bring to each note, the steadfastness that carries your music through good times and bad. And if you ever wonder if it's worth it, if your music really matters without an audience, remember, you are still shaping lives, starting with your own. What makes a great singer is not just skill or fame, but presence, openness, willingness to keep singing through shadows and setbacks, not for the world's approval, but because this is who you are. To every singer who has ever felt unseen, unheard, or uncelebrated, your voice is valid. Your journey, whatever its shape, is meaningful. By singing anyway, still searching for beauty, still offering your truth, you become part of something deeply human and enduring. Not all great singers become famous, but all great singers keep singing. And that, in the end, is greatness enough.